Hello and welcome to the Heretic Mansion, the Shin Megami Tensei podcast. I'm John, your host.
I'm Jonathan. New guy here.
I'm
I'm
Will.
Neos. Oh God.
Oh,
I'm Terrence.
And yeah, that's everyone.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, anyways, it's been a while since the last episode. Again, the main reason it's been this long is because I got sick. I had when I went to Anime NebraskaCon, which was November 10th, I got laryngitis, so I could barely talk for a while.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
Totally off topic here. That Anne cosplayer you met there, total cutie. I don't know why you didn't get her number. I don't know why you didn't get her number, but apparently you added her on Facebook. So I mean, dude.
Yo, my dude.
Hey,
Did you slide in the DMs though?
Let shit slide.
Yeah.
Come on,
Hey, like, what are the odds of her listening to this right now? I don't
Yo,
think she
bro,
would be.
bro,
listening to something more like this.
you can link her to the episode, dude, and like she'll probably like be like, "Oh, word! Like you guys talked about me? I'm that important? Okay."
And then I'll be like, I can give you a shout out if you want.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be like, do you want to be a guest?
We could get you them followers, girl. Was popping.
Well, I did share. I
Good,
shared her
man.
on the Phantom Thief page, which has 25,000 likes.
Bruh.
What, bruh?
I don't know, but like, hey,
Wait,
if you're listening to this, my boy John here is interested.
Word.
Anyways, we just went totally off topic, but hey, just to add on to that, I was kind of part of that delay as well because we had a school strike. Colleges in Ontario went on strike for 5 weeks, and I basically lost 5 weeks of my semester. So I had to come back to college, cramming in all this homework. And then John kind of tried to hit me up in between, asking me if I could do the podcast. And we could have had this out like last month, but yeah, unfortunately, that wasn't the case because of my schedule.
Damn,
I'm just
dude.
lazy.
I mean, everybody has their reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually still got some lingering effects from it, but it's not so bad I can't talk. I just can't talk in a really high voice like this.
Well, at
What are
least
we talking about today?
But yeah, we actually got a bunch of different things to talk about. The most recent news, although it's not really big news because we didn't really know this guy that well, but the PR manager that replaced John Harden is now leaving.
Yeah, his name is William Chen. If you haven't heard of him, or if this is your first time hearing of him, really he didn't last for long, and there's a lot of things we'd like to address about him.
Word.
Yeah.
Word.
Well, I'll let you guys do most of the talking because I don't use Twitter that much.
I don't know, but hey, Jonathan, you want to go first about it?
Well, I don't know. The guy, I know him due to the Twitch streams that they used to do for SMT4 Apocalypse.
Yep.
I think they streamed a number of times. I actually won a copy during the stream. Yeah, dude. But like, I already had like pre-ordered mine, and like the kid that lost to me, I was like, "Yo, just give it to him." Like, I already bought the game. So yeah, I just let them like sort it out for him. But he seemed cool, man. Like off the stream and stuff. But I didn't know like his main role at Atlus. I just thought it was just a whole bunch of interns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because prior to that, I think the only people that had access to the Twitch was John and whoever he was streaming with. Like, I think they did like a P5 one, if I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Did they? Yeah, with like the voice actors and stuff. But to my surprise, like, you know, I thought he just like moved on to like another company, and then you guys like prior to the podcast we were like, you know, recapping, and like it seems to be like he got fired off of like just what we saw on his Twitter and stuff, like
We don't know that for sure.
Yeah,
But-
we
It's
but
just a guess.
but then we looked up his LinkedIn, and like he interned prior to being like the PR manager, and it seems to be like he was under John for that matter.
Yeah.
For what, like 13 months or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, a good
And-
amount of time.
And I just feel like he was just not suited for the job. And it shows. I know John was very in tune with the community and stuff like that. He responded very well to like any, fires that
Yeah.
the community fucking had. He was very vocal and very professional at the time. He used to meme with us as well. Like he used to be on Reddit as well, like respond to
Mhm.
stupid YouTube videos and stuff. So just even that, like, I know he used to write the email blasts for like anytime like they had like a new game and stuff like that. Like sometimes he would even like use certain remarks that we used to use in the community, which was really cool. It's kind of like a nod, like, hey, we do pay attention to what you guys say. But I don't think Will did any of that. Maybe Atlus didn't want him to be as vocal with the community and just kind of like have an office desk and just do his job.
But if that's the case, then why are they firing him for doing that?
I don't think he did a good job.
We don't know that
We
for
don't
sure.
know.
Like I said,
We
I'm just
can't
speaking.
don't know.
stress this enough.
Hypothetically,
We don't know.
take what I say with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
go on.
It just seems like maybe they didn't the resources to hire somebody that was up to the standard of John, or now that I'm thinking about it, John kind of left sporadically, dude. Like it was like overnight, like, hey dudes, I don't work for Atlus anymore. Hit up this guy if you want to do anything.
Exactly.
Right? Like there was
we talked about it on a podcast.
Yeah. So that was like very alarming, and I'm like, hey, like, oh damn, like what's going on over there? But I think he had big shoes to fill. I don't think he was as his skill sets definitely don't fit the role that he was given, and that's unfortunate. Hopefully, I wish him the best. Hopefully he didn't get fired over anything too crazy, or if he left just for a better opportunity. But that surely leaves like us thinking about what's next to come. I know they replaced him with somebody. I don't know their name, but I saw on their Twitter they added the person. It was somebody from Sega and the new dude at Atlus.
Mhm.
I don't know if you can look that up real quick.
Jacob Nahan and Sarah Walcock.
Yeah.
Wellock, sorry.
Yeah.
She's in charge apparently with the PR in Europe, and Jacob is in charge of the PR in North America.
Okay. They definitely sound like they're way more capable than the last dude we had.
Well,
I don't know.
only time will tell, just how these guys fare out within the community. I
Yeah.
really hope that with Jacob, his communication with the fan base would be more engaging. He's worked for Sega, and he was really, really involved in the PR for Yakuza.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's true. I saw that.
So I honestly would expect the same type of attitude when it comes to Atlus games as a whole from him. So I really don't have anything to worry about with Jacob here. The only thing I kind of worry about, because William actually struggled with this. One of my friends, and I'll repeat this again because I think I said this on a previous episode. One of my friends had asked about the DLC rollout for Persona 5 and when the S&T If DLC was going to hit stateside, like the costumes.
Was that during the launch or pre-launch?
Yeah, this was during the launch when they were unveiling the DLC increment. Like they had unveiled the SMT4, costumes and the Raido costumes prior to SMT IFs. However, SMT IFs costumes did not get like advertised. Like it was kind of just there, and that was the only one that was left out. So my friend had sent him a tweet, and I was like, "Okay, hey, do you know anything about the DLC schedule and if we're getting the SMTF DLC stateside?" The guy literally got blocked, and I'm like, for asking a question like that, that had nothing really, negative. Like
Exactly.
it had
Damn, dude.
You're
It wasn't
blocking-
offensive. It was just
Yeah, it wasn't even offensive. It was a simple question if we were getting the DLC or not. We did get the DLC. However, that doesn't change the fact that he had blocked a simple question out. No,
Dude,
no negative.
There's so many different ways of approaching a situation like that. There's so many different ways that it can be handled way better than that. You don't even have to respond, dude. Just follow the dude, shoot him a DM.
It
and just
almost
like-
makes me think that was an accident. Like,
You think so?
Who would do that? I just
It
can't
doesn't
imagine.
make any sense. Like, consent to dude a DM and be like, hey, dude, like I can't disclose that information publicly, but we'll announce something. You know what I mean? Like, just have some sort of transparency. You know what I mean? Like, just be transparent about like your information that you're distributing about a game that obviously a lot of people care about. And if this is like a DLC thing that you guys are trying to implement now with this whole series, like you obviously want it to sell, right? So, hey, that's probably one of the best costumes, like DLCs, out of the entire game, in my opinion. I didn't really get any of the DLC for that game because I don't want to support that
Because they're charging
that
too
business.
much for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
you know
is-
about
There-
Persona 5 Ultimate Edition, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it on that last episode.
I heard a good podcast too. I really enjoyed that episode.
Thanks.
I don't know if you guys discussed that they actually sell the DLCs in packs now.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
the Persona ones and like the outfits and shit like that. Like it's damn. They should have
Let's
just done that from the get.
reiterate,
Yeah.
do not buy the Persona 5 Ultimate Edition.
Yeah,
Nah,
don't.
dude. How was that?
Fail.
Was it on sale during Black Friday?
Yeah, it was. I
Yeah.
think.
I know
Wow.
the base Persona 5 game was, but I mean,
Oh, the Ultimate Edition,
even
I mean.
if it's even with the 50% off, that's still way too much.
How much was it? Like 120 or something?
Yeah, normally it's 125.
Dude. You actually save more money by just ordering them each one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
Right.
separately. That's just crazy. I just, like, I can't get behind the whole DLC practice.
Yeah, but I mean, even without that, I still think
Yeah.
Persona 5's DLC is way too much.
No. Yeah, it's way too much. I wonder why is it too much, Like, is it too much compared to other games within the PS4 thing? Like, library, like, and RPGs? Because, like,
Well, it
I
depends
grew
on
up-
the game.
yeah, like I grew up playing like fucking like Xenogears and shit. Like you can unlock stuff just by playing. That's
Exactly.
kind of like the era that I come from.
Yeah, now everything is in microtransactions.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, hey, like I'm paying you for like a full experience. Like at this point, bro, like maybe games should cost more. Like
Yeah.
I'd rather.
I mean, they
I'd rather
are
pay more.
getting more expensive to produce, which I mean, I
Yeah.
guess that's why companies think that they have to put microtransactions in games. But if I had to choose between like having a bunch of microtransactions and paying $60 and paying $80 for a full game, I'd pay $80.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like I think we were talking about this yesterday. I'm sorry if I'm, kind of like sidestepping here. Just like Xenogears 2 for the Switch, like it launched on the 1st, and I looked up on GameStop and they sell a bundle with the season pass already for shit that still hasn't come out, and it's like, yo, bro, like it's $30. I don't want to spend $90 on a game with future DLC that I don't know what the fuck the shit's about, like
Yeah.
it's like you're buying into a promise that you will eventually have, And after Square did the whole shit with Final Fantasy 15, like I can't. Nope,
Oh,
I mean,
I can't get
well,
behind it.
now what publishers are doing is they're putting things like cosmetic DLC and in some cases weapons in loot boxes. Like you know what's happening with EA with Battlefront
Yeah,
2.
yeah. I think that might be positive and negative too, because so many different countries like
Negative.
responded in terms of like
Yeah.
how that's being kind of like that's gambling for kids now.
Exactly. Like they shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'd be okay with paying $2 for a new weapon that they add later in the game, but not a random chance, like a 1 in 1,000 chance to get one.
Nah, dude. Like, I think the only DLC that I've ever paid for were the extra bosses in SMT4 and Apocalypse, and it was because I was like, okay, I beat the whole fucking game. Like, let me just do this shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
yeah.
But that was like what, like $2 or something?
Yeah, it wasn't expensive.
Yeah.
Even over here,
Yeah.
and we have a lot of taxes on just random shit. Even over here, it was only like $4.
And it's that's at least humanly like attainable. And you already know what you're getting. But it's not. It doesn't break the game, and you don't have to do it to get the full experience. There are some battles that definitely do feel like, damn, bro, like this was part of the story, and you kind of like put a paywall. Yeah, absolutely. But I was fine with it. I take any game and every game that comes as they have to somehow like start working on something. Like if they want to implement microtransactions or DLC, like they had to start somewhere.
Right.
But I feel like they'll eventually get better. Hopefully SMT5 doesn't have that shit.
Loot boxes.
Yo, bro, stop.
Persona 6. Hopefully Persona 6 doesn't have it.
Man, can you imagine like visiting the Velvet Room
in India?
This guy.
Persona 6 in India, make it happen, Atlus.
Well, the last thing I'm gonna say about the whole loot boxes thing is, well, I'm glad like countries are looking at it and investigating whether or not it's gambling.
Yeah.
I remember ESRB looked at it a little while ago and they said it's not gambling because it's guaranteed to give you something, and then they compared it to opening up a pack of trading cards. But I'm just thinking, well, the thing is, like, for a trading card game like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic the Gathering, if there's a card you really need, you can buy it individually. But with loot boxes, you have no choice but to keep buying loot boxes until you get what you want.
And it's
also in China, they ruled it as gambling unless they openly display the chance of getting something.
Yeah.
So
I remember reading about that.
Didn't Blizzard find a way around that?
I can't remember. That's just the ruling that I saw.
It's just so weird, dude, that this is the thing that now is in like one of like gaming has become so like accepted now. Like back when I was a kid, like dude, we'd never fucking talked about it in public.
Yeah. I mean even 10 years ago or 15 years ago when I was getting into gaming, like I didn't really talk about it like outside of school.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I mean,
and
you
the
had
fact
you
that
had all the
something
media
like
bashing video games, saying, "Oh, video games can make kids violent. Don't let them play it."
Here's another thing. Just adding on to that topic right now. I remember because in elementary school, talking about video games was all. It was I don't know. It was mediocre. Like you have mediocre mixed feelings from each and every individual person. Like I remember back in elementary school, maybe in like 5th grade, it was bad to like Pokemon. Like
what, dude? What childhood did you have, son?
Like every single time, like I would go out. I mean, my childhood is fucking shit. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Damn, dude.
But just going out like on recess and talking to my friends, and then next thing you know, you got a bunch of bad guys. Sorry, not bad guys. Bunch of big bullies who think they're all top shit, right? And it's like, oh, you still play Pokemon? This is a fucking children's game, man. You should be playing like Call of Duty or something.
Damn, dude.
Or something like that. And like
That generation fucking sucks, dude. Like,
yeah,
jeez. Now I understand what you're saying.
like
Like,
it was so bad to the point where it's like it was
sucks.
almost like a crime to be talking about it in public, let alone be shamed for it as well.
Dude, I'll tell you straight up, third grade year, bro, if you did not have a link cable at recess, dude, to play Pokemon Silver or something like that, you weren't shit. Like, everybody was playing that bitch. Like same thing with Pokemon cards. Like, I never learned how to play the game, but we would bring
Everybody
to
would-
we would
Oh,
bring to school like our binders, and we would trade cards. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there would always be some asshole that would try to steal your card, but
Oh, yeah,
everybody
some
would
asshole
get
did
into a
that to
fucking
me.
fight, dude. Like, it, you know. But damn, that really sucks.
Well, yeah, mine was. It wasn't exactly like that because I had a group of friends that we were into stuff like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, and we all played
mean-
video games.
Yes,
Like
same.
like
I had no
Mario.
friends.
If you didn't have New Super Mario Brothers and a DS, like
Damn.
But
God.
I mean, so I wasn't really afraid to talk about video games at school, but there was this other group of kids that thought they were better than us because they were more into sports than video games.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, you're
that
always
was
gonna
another
get those
thing, too.
assholes.
But I mean, I
Yeah,
don't really
that
give
was
a
another
shit.
thing too.
But
You're
still,
always
Those
gonna
were-
get those assholes.
Yeah, those are the same type of people who would actually shame you for that shit as well. Like even playing video games or probably coming out with a pack of like Pokemon cards on recess or something, and trading it with some folks around. Like I'll literally go from like there'll be like people grade under me trading cards with me, and somebody will point out, I was like, oh, look at that kid, look at Anthony, he's hanging out with some kid that's younger than him, and he's playing
Dude,
Pokemon.
That's crazy. We like even after that, like now I'm remembering, like we used to bring like Battle Network, dude, like Mega Man and shit, and like
Yeah.
we always used to fight.
oh yeah.
Dude, like, fuck, those were good times, man.
Yeah.
Those were really good times.
But like, if you think about it this way now, like gaming back then was such an organic interaction that
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
absolutely.
would kill for something like that. Like nowadays, it's just single player games, pretty much talking with people over internet, and it's like what happened to the good old days where you just go out and you meet a guy on the street and you just hook up with a link cable and you just battle it out or something, play a game, right?
Yeah.
So
I think you guys are just a bunch of nerds.
That too, man.
that too as well.
That too. Sorry if we strayed from
Yeah.
the topic at hand, but
yeah, we always do
yeah,
that.
like,
Sorry.
yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what were we
Does
talking
anybody
about?
want to talk about Apocalypse?
Well,
yeah.
we
No,
could.
no. That's a
No,
joke.
we're going to
Please.
talk about SMT5.
Well,
SMT5.
Yeah, all right.
I just
The
want to conclude.
SMT5 English trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to conclude the whole William Chan thing.
Yeah.
Nothing against you, dude. I think you're an amazing person. It's just that you weren't qualified for the job, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like,
Dude, and like just to add on to your thought, like maybe the shit that they were dealing with, man, like wasn't enough for him and
Yeah.
whatever team was under him as well as John. You know what I mean? Nobody
Yeah.
knows why these people leave.
Well,
You know?
we think that John Harden left because of all the hate he was getting when Persona 5 was coming out. Like when he announced
Oh, really?
I really-
when he announced that Persona 5 wasn't originally going to have dual audio, people lost it and they were sending him they
Oh
were
my
sending
god,
him angry
dude!
messages.
Don't get me started on that shit, man. Like,
yeah.
But
fuck.
we don't want to get sidetracked again.
I
Yeah, sorry.
honestly, if Jacob, because maybe SMT5 might have dual audio, I don't know. I want Jacob to spitefully not add the Japanese audio option. I want him to do that just because that it shows how Atlus can stand its own ground and say, "Hey, we're not going to be taking shit from you." Yes, it's a good business tactic, but at the same time, hating on the person who decided that okay, we're not putting in dual audio is completely wrong, and there's no way those fans who begged for it or were hating on John Harden for this deserve dual audio.
Yeah, and
No,
if say
absolutely
Persona 5 launched without dual audio, would they really have just not bought the game? I don't think so.
I don't
No,
think so.
I
I would
highly
still
doubt it.
think, I would still think these guys would still buy the game. And heck, hackers nowadays, like even on the PS3 now, people can hack in the voice files on
Oh wow.
PS3. So
Exactly.
like, so you're not really missing out on the dual audio option. You can get it in other means.
Wow.
And which is how the homebrew community for the 3DS games have been able to actually patch in the Japanese audio from the Japanese equivalent of the game. So Apocalypse had one, SMT4 had one,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, and Devil Survivor did. So and when it
I
comes
just-
to SMT fans, we don't really complain about it.
Dude, I just feel like that's just a loud minority on the internet. You know what I
It
mean?
is.
That
Yeah.
like I was just extremely upset that, you know, they gave in and kind of like pandered to those people. Like I said, like, hey, leave it up to the developers. You know, Atlus has the capability of delivering good dubs. You know, these people are working extremely hard to deliver a complete product that will be satisfying, at least. You know what I mean? Like, how about you give them the benefit of the doubt of actually performing above the Japanese dub? People might fucking like hate me for saying this, but honestly, dude, like the English cast, certain people like outperformed a lot of the Japanese voices. They added a lot of really nuances to certain voices or call outs that weren't found in the Japanese. Like, I mean, I don't know if you're talking spoilers here. Are we allowed or?
Yeah, we're allowed.
Sure.
Okay, so
Spoilers for
alert,
Persona
whatever
5.
game
I
he's
just
going
have
to
to
talk
announce
about.
okay, yeah, you have to kind of like say it, which is fucking pathetic in this day and age. But during the Goro fight, during the last dungeon, when he reveals that, you know, he's like the black mask dude, and he summons Loki for the first time, the way he summons him, like, it's completely different from the Japanese voice.
Yeah, it wasn't like
You know what I mean?
directly translated. It was more so it was specifically for that English
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, and it fit so well because of that fight. You know what I mean? Like, there's just certain things that need to be adapted to the current audience who's digesting that product, you know, and that is essential for the experience. Like, I mean, dude, like, I want to play the game in the English and in the language that I speak, obviously. You know, I might do a run in the Japanese version just because, you know, I already experienced and I platinum the damn game, and just to get a new take on it. But I just don't get why people are so sensitive when they don't get what they want anymore. And it's like, hey, maybe it's not meant for you, and maybe they weren't thinking about that. Maybe that's outside their budget. You know what I mean? And obviously, it probably was, dude. That's why the game was delayed. I really think it was delayed due to that, because of licensing issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And trying
you
to
know,
get the game out as fast as they can.
and because of these people,
I mean,
it made their job much more complicated.
delayed. Well,
Yeah,
I just want to say it's already been delayed 2.5 years.
yeah. But, you know, do you understand how much of a headache that must have been in their plate, and how much more difficult it made their jobs, dude?
Yeah.
Like, where they should be focusing about the rollout of the game, not some fucking bullshit weeaboo fucking, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
come
know.
on. It's just so frustrating. Like,
Yeah.
just let these people do their job and let them do it well. You know, like, they have to stop and respond to your bullshit fucking tweets, and to calm the fire, and like not have any kind of like repercussion of, you know, the overall scheme of the rollout. You know what I mean? They have to have a good presentation. They cannot have people upset before the game goes on sale, because then they'll get bad press. You know? So
Yeah.
like they were cornered to answer those people and deliver that option, you know, and for free at you know, like they gave it to us for free at least. But I'm not gonna, you know, I didn't play it like that my first run. I just hope that this doesn't become a thing. It's almost like a meme now. Like, let's just complain just for the sake of complaining.
Yeah, and
You know?
it's just horrible.
It's getting tiring.
I just want to like just add something quickly to that specifically. It is okay to ask a developer for dual audio. That is
Yeah.
absolutely okay. What's not okay is like fucking being a shithead to the PR manager who has no control over what goes in the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's just so many better ways of like properly conducting yourself. Like, not everything needs to be dealt with via social media. You can email these people. There's a reason why they put their contacts on their on their about me or like the description, so you can contact them directly. They might not get back to you right away, but like hopefully they fucking do. You know what I mean? They're
Or they'll see it. Right?
Yeah, they'll see it, and if they see more than one people constantly like kind of like voicing their opinion directly to them, then it's kind of like then they take it to their superior and like, hey guys, like, I'm getting 50 emails a day about this thing that we're not including the game. What can we do about it? Just don't flat out just like write it off.
Don't blame the PR manager.
Yeah.
Don't shoot the messenger, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, but moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Yeah.
His English trailer.
We
Yeah.
got an
Yes,
English trailer.
yes,
Well, it's
yes,
not
It was
really.
good.
It's not really an English trailer. It's just the Japanese trailer we got, but with English subs.
Yeah.
Translated,
Yeah.
and
It's
confirmation
exactly what
that's-
we. It's
It was-
exactly what I expected, at least. So
It was a bit
Yeah.
different though. The words were a bit different.
Yeah. I noticed that like when I was running
About the
Google
Messiah?
when I was running Google Translate, like we're seeking a new we're seeking a Messiah or something,
A new Messiah, yeah.
or something like that. Like those words were on point for
Yeah.
for that much, so we know that like when we translated it, it was exactly as is, but like it really just added more context to what it actually meant, right?
Dude, I'm so hyped for that game.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty
With the
sure
little- with
everybody's
the-
hyped. Anyways,
With the little that we've seen so far, it looks like they're at least taking a step in the right direction.
I mean, we know we're getting it. The game's not even out, but we already know we're getting it.
Yeah.
Unlike
Yamai is
with what happened
confirmed.
with Apocalypse.
Yeah, dude.
Yamai is confirmed to be all on board with this. Like he's the head honcho of the project. So then, like, he'd also mentioned that every single Famitsu issue that's gonna be about SMT is gonna be about SMT 5 leading. up.
Amazing. That's a good. That's a good.
So, if you're expecting something from Famitsu, expect SMT 5.
Like, I almost don't want to know anything else about the game. Like, I kind of want to see gameplay, But besides that, I'm content with waiting.
Yeah.
Just take your time. Like
I'll
I'll be ready when it comes out.
I honestly want Yamai to take his fucking sweet ass time. I don't care if I have to wait 5-6 years or longer than Persona 5's development time for this. Like, I want a perfect SMT game, like one that's like this is the 3D Megaten game we're getting in a while, like mainline Megaten.
You know what it feels like, dude? Like a new renaissance of Megaten.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. It's like a new rendition.
I'm so happy that P5 is a thing and it was successful, because it's going to allow so many other different renditions and like resources to kind of like, get repurposed in a new light, in my opinion. And SMT5 is the perfect formula for that.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like, we've been kind of lacking in terms of like the content, direction for the series. Even though I do enjoy the prior installments, I do feel like the formula needs to be revamped a bit. New ideas need to be introduced. Same thing with the Persona series as well. Like,
Yeah.
I think I'm a bit biased because I played all of them at this point. But I'm just excited for what's to come. And even after that, like, who is to say that we're not going to get, new spin-offs, not off these games, but like other stuff, like how we got back in the DS era of like, Devil Survivor and shit. Like, those were fucking great games.
And even then, the Raito games as well. I'd love to see a Raito 3, if that's even going to be a thing, if they're going to experiment with Raito even more.
Yeah.
Right?
One of my friends put me on to Makken, and like the whole first person thing. But like I never knew about that game. Like I didn't even know it was on Dreamcast. But like that was pretty cool. Like the ideas that were kind of like implemented in that game and stuff. Like I wouldn't be opposed to kind of like an action RPG like Megaton.
Yeah.
I feel like we shouldn't get our hopes up too much. We've literally only seen 2 trailers that amount to less than 2 minutes of footage.
Yeah, that's true too.
I'm hopeful.
None of which
But-
share a battle system.
Yeah.
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 I'm not exactly gonna say, yeah, I'm definitely gonna buy this game. Not until I get something more substantive.
I think
Also, Atlus, give us Ron 2 and Jack Bros 3.
this guy.
Ron.
Did you guys play Synchronicity?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I only played a little bit of it, but it was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, man. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like I feel like with like Persona and shit, like that's their series that they get to kind of like experiment and have fun with. Like they can do quirky shit like dancing games and whatever the fuck they like got going on next. But like Megaten is kind of like their legacy like series. They still keep like they keep it traditional. They don't really change it as much. They do add things, and when they do, it kind of fits, and you would think like, oh wow, like yeah, this I can get behind this. But I'm just excited overall. Like this year I played and finished Strange Journey. Like I finally like finished it. I wanted to get for the first time. Yeah, like I went through it. Like I bought it when it first came out, but I just could not finish it due to just like work and like school and stuff like that. Like just life happening. This for the past kind of like 6-7 months, maybe to a year now. Like I've been revisiting like all the games I have, and I've been beating all the secret bosses for every game in the series
Yeah.
that I currently own. And that's been super fun. Like I've been enjoying that. And it's so cool. Like now, that P5 is a thing, and like SMT5 got announced. Like it's cool to see more people kind of like going to a wide and kind of like being interested in the new installment, and like kind of like going back and maybe trying out the other games. That's exciting because hopefully it'll promote more sales, because they definitely do. In my opinion, I think the 3DS held back like the series a lot. Like I have this year I bought the SMT4 art book, and like just looking at all those like early like drawings and like ideas and stuff, like the 3DS cannot execute like what they had envisioned primarily.
I'm actually
Like-
surprised that the 3DS was able to handle Yahweh's universe in a pod.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like with
Mr.
the
Polygon Man.
this guy, and with like the Switch, man, like there's so many possibilities now. You know what I mean? Like I remember when they first like were talking about like Nocturne, and like I think it was Kaneko or somebody said that they first wanted to have you like look up in the sky and like see demons fighting and shit. Like that was sick, dude. Like, but obviously the PS2 could not handle that. It wasn't as powerful. But like just like going back and seeing kind of like their other ideas for other games that they had. Imagine all the shit that they have cooking now that we're gonna see, because the Switch is powerful enough for them to handle those ideas. I'm definitely hopeful, even though like we have, like you said, we haven't seen like more than 2 minutes of footage of the game, but I'm just excited for what's to come in the future.
As long as it's not a spiritual successor to Raido, I'll be happy.
Really? You don't like the Raito games?
No, I really don't.
I liked the first installment for the story, the second one for the gameplay. I just really feel like with the Raito games, if a Raito 3 was to happen, I wouldn't mind if it went action RPG, but
Yeah.
for the majority audience and for the rest of the Megaten fan base, I would rather much prefer a turn-based system.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
with the loyalty system obviously being, not as cancerous as Soul Hackers and OG Devil
fuck.
Summoners, but
Yo, Hackers
in
is
a
one of my favorites in the series, dude.
wait, what?
Soul Hackers is one of my favorites. One of my
Yeah.
favorite games, actually.
Yeah, same for
As-
me actually.
As
Yeah.
long as SMT5 gives me some cutie pie waifus, I'll be all happy.
Well, I
Give me
mean,
a Pixie.
Hey man,
You've
Namissa
got
wasn't
one
too
way.
bad.
Gotta jail.
On the topic of SMT5, the site launched.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are next
Yeah.
week. But
It looks
there's
like that.
really nothing on the site. It's just a black screen, and then there's a link to
Yeah.
the trailer.
The trailer.
It's
Hey
kind
man,
of aesthetic, but that's nice.
one of the
Okay.
And it's got like this
I come
moving space background. Reminds
I
me of
come
the
from
Heaven's
design
Gate
and, like,
website.
I come from a design background, and you have no idea how much that font like bothers me on that website, the Shin Megami Tensei one. It's just not aesthetically pleasing. I wish they would have updated that a bit. Maybe as a placeholder, but
No,
whatever.
It looks
It's
like the
just that-
font we used
It's
to
a similar
use for
font
our
too, yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
So, yeah, they probably just got that from their font book on like any given computer, like a MacBook or something like that.
Microsoft Word.
Yeah, but I wish they would have like an actual designer design an actual font for that game. But that's just a minor gripe that I have. But I'm okay with it. I really don't care.
It'll
It's the
probably be
game.
updated.
Yeah, it's the game that matters, right?
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's another thing as well when it comes to like, what was it?
It's like if SMT used like Papyrus or something, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like what the fuck? Yeah,
It's just weird. Like even with like the new title, like they had the first one perfect. The SMT4's title font was perfect.
that was pretty cool, man. I really liked it. It looked like graffiti to me. And being from New York, like I fucking love that shit. So
yeah. So and then you see this Final Fantasy revision, and I'm like, why are you using a Final Fantasy font for SMT? Like that kind of like
really? Oh yeah, that is. Wow. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Like
you're
when
right.
you look at the new title, like as a SMT5, it's literally the fucking Final Fantasy.
Hey man, worst comes to worst, it's just a placeholder. They probably had an intern just
or
put it up.
maybe
Okay.
or maybe they wanted to try something new.
That would be way worse than anything else if they just put a placeholder there.
No, like what I'm saying is like
That would
hopefully
make
that's
me more angry than anything else.
what I'm saying is hopefully that's not the actual type treatment that they choose for the cover of the game.
I doubt it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. But that's just probably for the site. Yeah. Sorry, I should have worded that better.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's really all there is for the site. But now onto one of our bigger topics. Persona 5 was nominated for Game of the Year 2017.
Yeah.
Yay. Who didn't expect this?
Yeah, who didn't see that coming?
Okay. Categories I think it's gonna do well in. Might not win, but it'll do well in. Best RPG, best soundtrack, best art direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who they're going against.
Yeah, like
But,
I'm just thinking like what other RPGs came out this year. I mean, there's
Apparently,
Xenoblade 2, but that came out like just yesterday, and at the time
Final
we're recording
Fantasy
this,
I'm pretty
voting
sure
is
it's
over.
not even out yet over here.
Wait, what?
It's out in North
Xenoblade
America.
2. Yeah, I don't even think it's out over here.
Quick question.
Ausland.
Quick question. I don't know how these nominations work, but
Yeah.
when they get nominated, do they go up against games within their same genre or completely different ones? Like, there might be going. See,
Best
that-
RPGs will go up against other RPGs, but like
Okay.
best
Yeah.
art direction and best
Yeah.
soundtrack.
They
Yeah.
go up against anything.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's fair, but I don't know. I think it's going to do very well in the art direction. There's nothing like, dude, like they revolutionized the whole UI like thing in gaming. When I first got that game, I probably spent like 20 minutes just going through the menus. Like everything was just extremely so like aesthetically pleasing. I
It
hate
was so
the whole
red.
yeah, like you know how people kept memeing the whole thing like, oh, it's oozing with style and shit. Like, yeah, it was because there was nothing else that you could compare it to.
Yeah.
I loved the whole thing, like how it was ripping pages out of like a manga or something. Like it was crazy, like the amount of detail and like it just was so well done, and they did such a good job with that. It definitely, you're going to see people looking up at that and being like, you know, we need to step our game up in terms of like how we present menus and stuff. Like
I can't think of any other games that would beat it in game of the year. I mean, for art direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing off the top of my head. But
maybe
I'm sure
Mario. Maybe
Yeah.
Mario.
I mean,
Mario?
I don't think it's gonna
Did
beat it.
Breath of the Wild come out this year, or was that
Yeah, it
last year?
Oh, that's
No, it was
nominated for
this
the year.
That has a really solid art direction. So
See, like I don't know. I'm indifferent. Like I love all those games. I have Breath of the Wild on the Switch. I have Mario Odyssey on the Switch. Like I've been thoroughly enjoying them. I have yet to finish Breath of the Wild because I want to get all the shrines before completing it. But like with Persona 5, I have like a different relationship. Like it's crazy.
Specifically,
Yeah,
art,
yeah.
how
Like
pleasing it is to the eyes.
like
To
back
be honest, I prefer Breath of the Wild's art style. It's just a lot softer, and it's not red.
I take it that you hate the color red.
I'm okay with the color red, but there is just so much red.
I get it. I think it balances out with the way that the whole manga like style was. You know, like it couldn't have just been black and white. You know what I mean? It would have just looked so bland. Like I back in
If
April,
there were more yellows, oranges, and a bit of blue here and there, I might have liked it more.
So,
but it was
Persona 3 and
just a
4.
wall of red.
I mean, Persona 4 was yellow. Persona 3 was blue.
And I had a problem with the walls of blue and yellow there too.
Dude, but
there's also red.
There's definitely more colors and like interactions and stuff. Like when you go to
not within the menus.
Yeah, when you go to Takemi and like you try and buy stuff, her menu thing is blue. And when you go to EY, it's green.
Okay. I'm talking. Yeah, that's true.
You know,
I was more thinking the pause menu and all that.
Oh yeah,
shit.
I see what you mean. Like I my whole experience with Persona 5 was completely different because I went to Japan this year, back in April, and the day that we flew was the day after the game came out. So I picked up my Take Your Heart edition from GameStop. I played it for like 3 hours, dude, and went to sleep. Flew to Japan for 14 hours the following day. Came back in like almost a month. And like I played the game like nonstop. Like I know life did. I platinum did, like got everything, completed everything, dude. And like just being in Tokyo and kind of playing in game and seeing places that I saw in real life and just witnessing that, like I was like, dude, like there's a reason maybe why these people took so long to make this game. The attention to detail was unparalleled. Like it was incredible. Like this was the biggest game that Atlus has ever done, like to date, in my opinion.
That's an awfully big statement.
In terms of
really think about that.
And in terms of like current gen, like, well, even though that's a PS3 game, you know, but still, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being biased because my experience was completely different. There's certain things that I have minor gripes with. Certain plot points that I felt were left out.
I'm talking salty
specifically
about
art.
Yeah, but the art, like, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I've never witnessed another game that has paid so much attention in terms of like RPGs and their art style. This is like a renaissance in terms of like art direction, in my opinion. A lot more people are going to be paying attention to their menus and just like how they interact with the user in terms of like, you know, being flashy or maybe more minuscule. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, it has a distinctive art
Yeah.
style. That's for sure. But
like
stylistically, it is one way, and another game might
Yeah.
have better quality art, better quality textures,
yeah,
and have a better quality art direction.
Well, that's
but
not really more of
it's
an
not
that's
as
not really an art
stylized.
thing. That's more of a graphics thing.
yeah.
Which
Like
is solidly
art-
a part of art.
art,
I'm talking specifically style as opposed to art here.
art
So
direction.
That's why I'm not 100% sure that
Dude.
it will win best art.
Art
Because
direction
it
and
has a solid style,
yeah.
but there's other faults within Persona 5's art.
But I mean,
Art
like,
di-
what else could win art style? For
Art
Game of the Year?
direction.
Zelda.
Zelda.
Do you guys want to kind of go down the line of what encompasses like art direction? Because in art direction, you also have to include storytelling.
Well, okay.
Well, we're talking about art
In
as
a visual
like,
sense.
Visual art.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
cool. And the visual arts, yeah.
But,
So like, yeah, I don't know. Do you think they might be biased to like, you know, like games like kind of like Breath of the Wild being so
I mean,
revered highly?
We're pretty biased, so they can
Yeah.
be pretty biased. It's just a fact of life. But
people got-
moving
people-
on,
people
best
got to-
soundtrack.
Yeah.
I do think Persona 5 will win that.
And is Nier on that list?
Yeah.
Okay, Nier is. Okay, well, I haven't finished Nier Automata, but the soundtrack in it is amazing.
Everybody.
I haven't played Automata. I haven't
Neither-
heard it.
neither-
I played a little bit of it, but
Neither-
right now
ne-
I'm distracted by Resident Evil 7.
Nice. Neither have I. I haven't played Nier, but everybody that has recommended the game to me told me that the soundtrack is just phenomenal.
It is.
But who knows, man? Shoji Meguro is like a fucking genius.
Yeah.
You know, this man can compose anything.
I'm fairly
Nier's
confident
on the
Persona
list.
5 will do well.
Yeah, for sure.
that soundtrack.
Destiny 2 is also on the list. And
Destiny 2.
Oh, okay. Best art, Cuphead might do it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. Cuphead is on there? Damn, dude. Yeah, definitely.
Cuphead's got great art.
I haven't
Yeah.
been like following the game awards. I don't know. I'm just
Dude,
not really-
It's kind of meaningless. It's just fun
Yeah.
to talk about.
Yeah.
oh,
The
wait,
game
yeah,
the game is a cartoon, man. Like, that's so cool.
art direction is Cuphead, P5, Horizon Zero Dawn, Breath of the Wild, and Destiny 2.
Like Destiny 2. You know, I think one game that should be on there that isn't is Wolfenstein 2.
Oh,
Like,
hell yeah.
Have you seen the
Hell yeah.
designs of those robots? They look so bad.
Hell yeah. Hell
Yeah,
yeah,
I've
dude.
seen them.
Was it not included because of maybe it was too late to kind of like nominate? You know, like how do they nominate the game?
I mean,
Like the games on these lists, how do they? You know,
When did Wolfenstein 2 come out?
it came out
recently.
in October. Like
Yeah, it
early
might be
October.
too recent.
Oh.
Might-
yeah. Like they probably evaluate them like, you know, first, second, third quarter, and like fourth quarter.
It came
Yeah.
out the 27th of October this year.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's
I got that
probably
mixed up.
too late to be considered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have imagined more games actually.
I think for Game Award, the Game Awards, they should wait till the last week of the year.
Yeah, the Game Award should be done in February, not
Yeah.
early December.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, I don't know how the awards like in gaming work, but
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that would kind of like make more sense. Yeah.
Terrence, is there a best RPG category?
Yes, there is. Let me check.
There.
If Skyrim Special Edition is on there, I'm gonna strangle myself.
Dude, that game is like 9 years old or something.
Did you buy
No,
Skyrim for the
6 years
Switch?
old. Skyrim 6 years
Yeah,
old.
It came out in
2011.
Okay, the Divinity, Original Sin
Oh,
2,
yeah.
P5,
Yep.
Near Automata. Get this. Final Fantasy 15's on there.
No,
For
dude.
That
soundtrack?
came out last year.
That came out last. I'm not joking.
Well, it came out
It's
late
on there.
last year.
Yeah, it came out last year.
Yeah,
Why
true.
is it on this year?
Really? No, dude, what?
Maybe it's almost like the Game Awards should be done in February.
Wait. It came out in September
No, it was
2006.
supposed to, but then it got delayed to like November.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, wow.
Okay, the last candidate is the Fractured Butthole.
Well, that just
It's-
came
it's-
out.
Oh no,
Didn't it?
How
that
does
came
this
out like
even
a
work?
month and a bit ago.
Oh.
Yeah. How does this work? I don't know.
I don't-
This whole thing's
It
stupid.
doesn't make sense.
No, I'm really opposed to making lists for that reason. You know, like I think you should evaluate certain things as they come.
They should just
I don't-
have the voting in January and then have the award show in February.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh.
Or maybe have people vote for the games to get.
Last year they had Xenoblade Chronicles. That came out in 2015.
The one for the Wii U.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it came out in 20.
Yeah.
So looks like they don't give a shit about when stuff came out.
I thought it was like current year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like current fiscal
Yeah.
year. Current
that's
fiscal
what I
year.
thought too.
Yeah, that's strange, definitely. Or maybe it's companies paid to be on that fucking award. Who knows, man?
I don't know.
Would not surprise me.
In while we're on the topic, in your guys' opinion, what's your overall game of the year?
Yeah, for sure. Like mine.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a hard one.
Ron.
I really like Breath of the
You
Wild.
can't pick
It's
a game
normie
that's not current year.
Breath of the Wild.
Does it
It's
have
a
to be on the list?
Really normie pick,
Yeah.
but yeah, I really like that game.
If you want a game of the year, it has to be this year. Do not be the Game Awards, Ant. Don't pick old games.
I mean, fucking. I played
Probably
Ron
Xenoblade
this year.
2 for Ant.
No,
Stop being a grandpa, man.
My man said Ron. Does it have to be in the list, like nominated?
Nah, it
No,
can be
it has to
anything.
be a game
No,
that came
just
out
you-
this year.
Just a game that
Yeah.
came out this year.
Oh,
Fuck no, man.
I
So yeah,
can't,
Ron is
I
not-
can't really think of one.
If it's
On top
Persona
of my
5, it's
head.
okay.
What about
I'm-
Echoes,
Okay,
Ant?
what? Oh shit! Yeah, I should.
okay. Ant picked Rond. Done.
I pick. Can I pick Devil Survivor 1?
I changed my vote to Strange Journey Redux.
That
Done.
doesn't come out till next year.
It
came out in
is out in Japan.
And played
So-
it.
Japan.
I've got
Okay,
that.
fine. If
Okay.
it's mine is
Strange
Super
Journey
Robot
Redux.
V. Super Robot Wars V for me.
Okay.
For me,
I
haven't finished it, but right now, Resident Evil 7 is looking to be that.
That's actually
That's awesome.
that's actually a lie. If I were to choose Game of the Year, in my opinion, Super Robot Wars V.
Yeah.
What game is that?
It's basically a mashup of all like the mecha anime shows, but in like
Oh
an
shit,
SRPG format.
that's fucking sick.
Yeah,
It takes like
It
100
is-
hours to beat.
Does it have like Evangelion and shit?
yeah, Evangelion.
Yes, it does.
Gundam.
Oh, dude, yo, damn, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Only-
tight.
man.
The only good mecha, by the way.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Wow, I thought that was actually gonna. Okay, I thought that was a right bait, but apparently not. Okay,
I first finished Evangelion when I was like 8 years old, dude. Damn, I'm showing my fucking years.
I said Evangelion was the only good mecha.
Okay,
No,
I thought that would bait someone, but apparently not.
okay,
I mean, that opinion's subjective, but
yeah. Eh.
No, it's an objectively true opinion.
same.
Same. In your
on.
opinion, it's objectively true.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But if I had to pick game of the year out of all the games that have been nominated, I'd say definitely P5. You know, not just because it's P5, but because of Megaton altogether. I think this whole year everybody won in the community in terms of like,
Well,
you know, what we got.
Strange Journey Redux came out this year.
Yes, sir.
Just saying.
Last year, my pick would have been Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
last year for me.
Dude, that game came out last year, bro. That's crazy.
I don't think we can be friends anymore
No, I'm
Why?
because
That's-
Apocalypse is a bad game.
No, it's not.
Okay,
No, it's not.
subjective. Okay, here's
Come on, guys.
Here's the way I see Apocalypse, and not many people like really kind of like look in this direction. Apocalypse's concept and ideas are good on paper, but they were poorly executed in the worst way possible.
Yes, that's why I can't call it a good game because it was poorly executed.
I love it for its concepts. I knew
Its
what
concepts
it was
are great.
Yeah, that's the only reason why.
But it was still
love
poorly done, so I can't in good conscience say it was a good game.
Same.
Okay, let's talk about our anticipated games we look forward to next year.
Strange Journey Redux.
Oh,
Are you guys excited for Redux?
I am.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That's my favorite main line.
yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Same here.
Like I enjoyed so much playing Strange Journey this year. I don't know. Like I really hope that game gets a dub, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know.
It seems unlikely.
Yeah, but maybe they're just trying to push it out quick, because they don't want to deal with the 3DS anymore. But they're doing PQ too.
Wait,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
PQ2.
You didn't hear about that?
Yeah.
I saw it on Mega 10 Hell, but I thought it was just bait.
No,
Oh,
it's
wow.
real.
Yeah.
It's real. It's real.
So
All right, never
It's
mind.
milking time.
yeah.
then. Okay. So, we done on this topic?
Yeah, I guess we're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the
Time
next
for the
one?
biggest news that nobody has ever heard of.
I mean, it's kind of
Drum roll,
obvious,
please.
but Persona there's recently been talk about Persona having more sales than the SMT series.
And how
Combined.
nobody is surprised.
Combined?
at-
Altogether.
Combined. Yeah, like
Yeah.
all the Persona games have more sales than all the SMT games combined. Which, considering how many SMT games there are, that's kind of a big deal.
There's a lot of SMT games, including Rond.
Including Ron.
Including Ron.
Demikids.
SMT Pinball Judgment.
Oh my god.
Wait, that's real.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's real.
It's
Dude.
real.
So is Con
Did they-
Summoner.
Did they include what was it? Did Imagine have microtransactions? I don't know. I never played
No,
the
it
MMO.
did. I don't really know if that counts as a sale.
Yeah.
Okay, so does SMT #FE count as SMT or Persona?
No,
No.
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 it's
Counts
kind of
as
an
SMT.
abomination.
If we're gonna count Ron, I think we should count Tokyo Mirage Sessions
TMS.
or TMS.
Everybody
Whatever you
that
wanna call it.
has played it
But there's
that
no
has told me
SMS.
it's spelled backwards.
Fine that it's Fire Emblem.
It's more Fire Emblem than SMT, in my opinion.
Everyone that has kind of played the game told me that it plays like a PS2 Mega 10 game.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I've played a bit
I
of it.
want to play it, but I don't have a Wii U. And
Yeah,
it's
same.
not
I don't blame
emulatable
you.
at the moment, so
Yeah.
I need to finish it.
Damn.
Halfway through the game. I just haven't had the ability to actually pick it up and start playing again.
I think
dude, I'll just come over. We can finish it. Come on.
Same. Yeah,
Let's
like
do
I'm gonna fly over to Australia.
I was thinking of flying over there, but yeah.
Oh
sure.
yeah, sure. I mean, either way works.
That's crazy. It's like 32 hours or something, the flight?
Yeah, something
It's
like that.
1 day, 8 hours. So yes.
Fuck that. That's crazy.
but
Yeah, but Persona having higher sales than Mega 10 as a whole.
It's a big deal, but it doesn't surprise me. at
Yeah,
all.
it doesn't surprise me as like, okay, yeah, I should be, It's like, oh shit, is this like the end for SMT? I'm like, no, SMT is literally just gonna keep going. Like, it's Persona's
SMT
just
has an
Persona is
insane.
the cash cow. SMT is literally the secondary failsafe. Basically, they're using it. Okay, SMT, when they release an SMT game, they're playing it safe, right? It's a title that they play safe with. It's not like something that will die.
It's
Like,
not Etrian Odyssey. That
yeah,
is unfortunately kind of sort of on life support.
yeah. I mean, it's barely surviving. Like, we didn't hear until a localization for Etrian Odyssey 5 until recently when Raiden Historia and Strange Journey Redux was announced
Yeah.
alongside with it to be localized.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate because Etrian Odyssey is super good.
Yeah,
But SMT is a niche
I never had it.
franchise that has many devoted fans that will pretty much pick up any new entry. But Persona has such massive appeal that people will buy it. I know people that just saw Persona 5 sitting on a shelf, have never heard of Persona or Megaten before, and bought Persona 5 because it
Yeah.
looked cool.
Normies
That
are
won't
into it.
happen with SMT.
that
Normies
won't
buy it.
happen with SMT. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It wouldn't. And the thing is that like I've been like talking with a friend, like a coworker, on a daily basis about like not even on a daily basis, but whenever I see him, like he'll mention something about Persona 5, and like he mentioned today to me, he's like, oh, how are you gonna react when Persona 5 actually wins Game of the Year? And I was being honest with him because I was my reaction is gonna be mixed. He thought my reaction was gonna be, oh shit, yeah, it's winning. I was like, there's two sides to this coin when Persona 5 wins Game of the Year.
If it does, dude.
If it does, number one, it will make brand recognition for Atlus as a company, right? Which could also lead to potential sales on SMT on the Switch, because
doubt
once
it,
they
but-
once they see the Atlus logo, they're gonna automatically
It'll become a selling point.
it will become a selling point just because Persona 5 made by Atlus wins Game of the Year made by Atlus. Slap Atlus's logo on fucking SMT. There you go. SMT 5 might be Game of the Year because of that. Who knows? I'm just making a meme here, but I'm not. I'm literally stretching this. But that's
You are
the way
stretching a lot, man.
Yeah, I'm stretching a lot, but you know what? Truth be told, if it does blow up in that way, I highly doubt. But the thing is, it gives Atlus that brand recognition that they've been they've been looking for.
What matters is at this point, like if it does win, people will associate it with a successful franchise.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then they'll start picking up anything that they put out. You know,
Yeah,
um,
Okay.
and that's what I want from
Yeah.
Atlus.
absolutely.
The second point I'd like to make, which is probably the most disgusting one, I'm sorry that I have to lump the fan base in with this, but when Persona 5 wins that, it literally influx the fan base to the point where it's like I forgot what I remember typing this out somewhere. I don't know if it was on Discord or something, but
I think I know what you're trying to say.
okay.
With
Okay, Will, complete my sentence.
Okay, so it sounds like you're worried that Atlus won't get the recognition from Persona 5 winning. Instead, Persona will get the recognition. And Persona is already a bloated, toxic fan base. See the Phantom Thieves Facebook group as an example. Page, sorry. It's not good. Persona ruins everything. And I don't know if this is what you were going for, but I've finished your sentence now. And,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I'm just
You hate
gonna
Persona.
kind of reword it because you got the first part right, the second part not so much.
Yeah, that was a bit harsh, dude.
Yeah. That's like okay.
That's
Okay,
a
the
bit
second.
harsh.
Okay, the second part was more of like a stereotypical SMT elitist, which I kind of am, but not really. But I found what I was gonna say.
Just recap your thoughts, man.
Yeah.
You know?
So what I'm trying to say is that I want Persona 5 to get that praise as game of the year, but not in a cancerous manner. You see,
Yeah.
when fans
Yeah.
associate Persona 5 in any context whatsoever, whether it be good, bad, or whatever, it's like it becomes to the point where the fan base comes self-defensive, and it basically says that any Persona game from 3 to 5 and onwards should not be criticized or should not be deemed to any
Yeah.
negative connotation.
Or
You know,
or even just to add on to what you're saying, dude, just the fact that, like people like to talk about the game and then critique it, right?
mhm.
Right.
Like people that would critique certain things and certain aspects of the game and the story would get fucking slandered, bro. Like,
Well, that's
you know,
that's what some of
you know what
us
I
have
mean?
been doing on the Phantom Thief page. Like, whenever we say something that's critical of P5, people take that as us bashing the game.
But you know,
Yeah.
it's the complete opposite. It's just, we love the series so much that, that's what you're supposed to do about media. Like, you're supposed to critique how you
Yeah.
digested that information in order to make it better.
Exactly.
It's just,
Exactly.
Like, I didn't hold back in expressing my disappointment with P5 because
Oh, yeah.
I'd expect
Yeah.
more from a game that I waited 9 years for.
Yeah, same here. Like,
But a bunch
I
of
mean,
people saw that and just like, oh, why people don't like Persona 5? I'm like, I don't hate Persona 5. I just don't think it's
You
good.
just-
You
as
don't think
do.
it lived up to the potential.
like, one thing that I'm kind of still upset about, it's like, or maybe I completely missed the point, or maybe I'm the only one, but like, do you guys remember when Morgana was having like those bad dreams and it was like a shadow Morgana? Like, where did that go, dude? Like that never
yeah, I
got tied
remember
up,
that.
like, and it was kind of like, hey, like, what is this? Like, is this leading somewhere? Like, I thought when we were, entering mementos and like kind of like the bottom, we thought maybe that would be answered, but what we got was that, she was he was a Velvet Room attendant. Igor just made the last hope of humanity into him, to reach kind of like, the MC and the protagonist. But I don't know, and maybe that was like a loophole that was left open for other stuff. I can be completely wrong, or just maybe I interpret it completely. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it just felt like something that was left out.
To
I don't know if you guys feel the same, but that's just,
on the
yeah.
Phantom Thief page, I made this post about where I was explaining why I didn't like Makoto, and a bunch of people that commented on that, they saw that they just saw that as me not liking the game. Like, one comment said, why do people on this page bash P5? It doesn't make sense. I'm like, just because I don't like this one character doesn't mean I don't like the game.
And
Yeah.
okay, I'm just gonna go off a tangent and talk about the Persona 5 page that we run. It's with and I've been trying my best, because within this whole Facebook page realm, there's this stereotype that goes around every single Persona page I've seen. It's either an RP page, it's either an art sharing page, or it's literally just a page of dead memes. But there's this stereotype that
see
Or
the
hentai.
Naruto page for a perfect example of all
yeah,
of
we'll
the
use the
above.
Naruto page for a perfect example, because the Naruto page is literally just that. It shares Persona 3 through 5 memes. No recognition for the first two games. Any criticism about 3, 4, 5 is not tolerated, right? So you can't talk shit about the game that your page is based off of for whatever fucking reason. And it's honestly ridiculous. Like, there's more to this as well. There's a lot of stereotypes that add on to this. And what I've been trying to do with this persona page that we have is kind of break that stereotype in a sense, because
That's awesome.
like when I post, okay, I post under the alias as Krishna because everybody knows who Krishna is in Apocalypse, right?
That's hilarious.
And this is on a
Celebration.
Persona 5 page. So
It's
you may
also
be
a straight shitter.
you may be wondering, why am I posting as an alias that's from an SMT game? To defeat the stereotype of all the Persona pages, or the Persona stereotype in general. And this is how I run the page in a sense. It's more so I express my love for Persona, but as well to everything that brought it to where it is today.
Yeah, exactly. Dude,
Because-
honestly,
go
dude, I just want to say this. You guys are probably one of the very few that really kind of like, shed a new light in the community in terms of like spreading the word. I used to listen to COS and stuff like that, and like I listen to your podcast like while I'm at work and shit, like during the office hours and stuff, and like that gets me through the day and shit. Just like it's cool to hear your thoughts and like your discussions and stuff like that, and definitely seeing kind of like a common place between certain opinions within the community, like the community that doesn't necessarily get voiced because it gets lost within the loud minority. Like all the memes and the garbage. And I think we need more curated spaces where people can have discussions and not get shit for it. You know what I mean? I've had personal instances where I've been on people's streams, like streaming Persona 3 and stuff like that. And like, I'll try and talk about Persona 2, like, hey, have you actually visited the prior Persona games? Like the Persona 2 duology is really good. And if, and they'll say no, like, and I'll ask why, and it's because it doesn't have the social aspects, respectfully, cool. If you play the series for one aspect of the game, then that's fine if that's what you enjoy. But, in terms of like the narrative and like how everything encompasses together, like the things that happen in that duology, like would make you understand the events of P3 that much better and why shadows are the way that they are. But I'm just like a history buff. I love connecting the dots. But that's just me. But I just don't understand how, like you can completely kind of like disregard, previous work, whether you might not enjoy it, but like, hey, you won't know unless you try.
Unless you try, exactly.
Yeah.
At least,
and it's
even
like,
if you don't want to try, at least recognize them.
Yeah, because that was, at least the foundation that led up to now the current generation, which is P5. You know what I mean? It's certainly cool in terms of like revisiting and like seeing all the different mechanics that changed and like the characters and stuff, like the tropes. And, to me, I appreciate the direction, at least, and the thought behind. And also on the SMT side as well. Like, like I said, I've been taking kind of like the year to like revisit the games that I currently own and beating them like fully. Right now, I'm in the process of like 100%ing like Devil Survivor. I beat Lucifer like twice already. And I'm doing the Despot route for Kaido on the 8th day. And honestly, like that's probably one of my top 3 Megaten games. Like it deals with the alignments very well, in my opinion. And I can't wait to finish it. And I've gotten people into it this year just because, they played Apocalypse and they asked me like, hey, the game should I try? And I was like, hey, dude, like if you kind of are open to try out something that's not turn-based, like give Devil Survivor a try. Overclocked is amazing, with the addition of the compendium and stuff. It's a good entry point, dude. Like I don't see why people wouldn't enjoy it.
I started with Devil Survivor 2, and like I loved it. Like trust me, like what really got me hooked was the fact that demons were based off of mythological figures that even led me into delving into the game a lot more, replaying the game over maybe like 5-6 times, and then searching up what the Megami Tensei series was about. I saw a Japanese playthrough of SMT4. SMT4 was my first 3DS game. I literally went out and bought a 3DS to play SMT4 because of the Japanese gameplay I saw on YouTube. And
That's so cool.
I forgot the user's name. I forget it was like Coley 30 or something. I can't remember. But if I stumble across it, I'll probably link it in the comment section or something. That guy is amazing.
So
that's really
to
cool.
go on a bit of a tangent here, to complete my thoughts on Persona 5 in a not memey way, though it's still gonna be a bit memey. I'm not shy with the fact that I actually really did not like Persona 5. I didn't enjoy it.
Okay.
It was incredibly easy. I didn't connect with the characters. Like, I played that game on hard, and I did Futaba's Dungeon in a single day without any problems.
Oh yeah, me too.
I did.
was on very hard.
My first run was on Merciless, and like,
Yeah, it's like,
I didn't. Are you? I mean, it's different because we've played a lot of the games,
Yeah.
So
Um,
I'm
but
already.
if it was easy. If it was easy, but I enjoyed the plot and the characters, I would have still played through it. Like, I finished Persona 4 Golden, and I didn't finish Persona 5. That's saying something.
Whoa.
But yeah, I'm worried that because so many people have picked up Persona 5, I'm worried that the Persona fan base that I'm already very not connected with is just going to get larger. And that's going to seep into SMT, the glorious SMT elitist Chad.
Jesus Christ! What was your first? What was your first game, if I may ask?
Persona 3 FES.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love that game, and that got me into SMT 4, and then I haven't looked back.
Cool.
Because I'm a fucking elitist, and yeah, I'm just terrible. Okay, but yeah, I'm worried that it's gonna seep in, and Atlus is going to start ignoring SMT because Persona is insanely profitable, and frankly isn't good. So yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, well,
I mean, fair point.
I'm more worried with all the positive reception that Persona 5 is getting is that Atlus is going to think that we're all okay with a flawed game. Or waiting 9 years for a flawed game, I should say.
That's what I meant by the whole fan base thinking that, Persona 5 shouldn't be subjected to criticism or it's immune to criticism.
Like, it almost feels like they treat that game it's kind of like bigger than gaming itself. Like it transcended another thing that is not, you know what I mean? Like that is not even considered a game anymore. That's how great it is. I feel like, Persona in general, it's like a very intrinsic kind of like experience, like Persona 3 and stuff like that, Persona 4.
Well,
like,
okay, here's the thing. I mean? Like with Persona 3, we got Persona 3 in 2006, and it was a good game, but it had some flaws. So when we got Persona 4 2 years later, they were able to fix a lot of the problems that Persona 3 had.
And then they cocked it up with Golden.
And then they started milking it. But what they're doing with Persona 5 is that, they released it. It's kind of different from Persona 3 and 4, and it's got some flaws, but now they're already starting to milk it, so...
Yeah. You can't criticize it.
Like, I just don't want to have to wait another 9 years for Persona 6 and then have it be like Persona 5 all over again.
I honestly don't mind waiting. Like, there's other shit to play. Like, I'm actually
it's not about the wait. That's not what I'm saying. What he doesn't want is to wait and for the next game to be an underwhelming experience.
Oh yeah, exactly. I see. Like I'm very excited for, like it's just I think Atlus, like really needs a new franchise under their belt, besides SMT and Persona and Etrian Odyssey and whatever other
center.
It could might as well just be Re Fantasy.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that
like
even
that's also
takes
gonna
off.
bring more money into like Megaton, in my opinion. As a whole, including Persona. And new ideas and new blood. It's just overall exciting. I'm actually happy. Is it Hoshino that left? Well, he didn't leave P Studio, but he's directing other games, and
Yeah.
right. So like, I'm actually glad that he's not working on the next one, dude. Like, we need new ideas. We need new direction.
Yeah.
The formula has gotten quite bland, in my opinion.
Like Persona 5 basically has the same plot with the characters intrinsically.
I
as Persona 4,
my main
having
problem
it being all about identity.
my main problem with the game was that I thought, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but I was led to believe that the actions that we were taking, this was pre-launch, were actually being taking place in the actual real world. So like, all the heists and stuff like that, like how Persona 2, like the events happened in the real world. You know what I mean? Like people fucking died and shit. And it would have made more sense why Joker was incarcerated. Like this motherfucker committed crimes and shit.
Oh
But
yeah,
it was in like a make believe world. You know what I mean? It was in the
With
metaverse.
Shido in the beginning, that was
Yeah.
dumb. That was
Yeah.
just bad.
So like
What a bad taste in my mouth.
like whatever, they didn't take that direction. I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? But like, that's what I thought that was going to be happening, because they had the whole thieving thing behind the concept and stuff. And I'm like, holy shit, like we're going to be doing heist, like sneaking into fucking banks and robbing people and shit. Like that was fucking badass, dude. You know what I mean? But we got the whole metaverse app expands kind of like, you know what I mean, thing.
It's basically the TV world.
Yeah. But
Persona 5 is Persona 4 with red. That's how I feel about it.
And guys, like I don't want to downplay the game. Like I did have an amazing experience with the game. I do enjoy it. But I think I can call everybody here kind of like a seasoned vet. And we just want like a new direction. We want new ideas. We want fresh blood. Like I think we need a new narrative as well. Like it's good to see new ideas, even if it doesn't take the right turn. Like at least they fucking tried something new, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Give them some credit. I think Hoshino started really good and he exited okay.
Yeah, don't bully this guy. He likes Persona 5.
Yeah.
I'm here to be the whipping boy.
I might sound like I'm championing Persona. I actually it's funny how I got into the series though. I don't know if you guys want me to say, but
Go ahead.
It was because of, damn, this is gonna sound like a meme, but it was because of Devil May Cry.
Nice.
Dude,
Well, at least it wasn't because of Persona 4 Arena.
Dude, so oh god. So back when I was in high school, I used to get my games from like this really like shady fucking Japanese game store like in the Bronx, dude. And like the dude, it's so funny. This was back when I was playing like Dot Hack, like the first 4 volumes and shit. And like I would get like most of my RPGs from this dude, and like he would just recommend me games and I would just buy them. And after I finished Dot Hack 1, the volume, like I went back to the store and I was like, yo, did you just sell me like a fucked up game? Because I didn't know it was like in separate volumes, like they came out like every 6 months and shit, at full price, by the way. And he was like, hey, like during that time I had bought Devil May Cry 3. And he was like, hey, I have this other game that includes Dante as well. And it was Nocturne. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll fucking buy it. And I played it after I beat Devil May Cry 3. And at first I enjoyed it, but I didn't complete it. It was a barren world. I never experienced an RPG like that it just gave you so many choices in terms of like customization and like having so many different like strategies that you can approach for different situations. It was fucking hard and I loved it. You know what I mean? It felt challenging. It felt like how RPGs like were when I first started playing shit in like Super Nintendo days. It wasn't holding your hand. I know people in the community revere and like hold Nocturne like really up, like up high and on a pedestal. But it's really kind of like a new gen Megaten game, and it did a lot for the entire series for like another like decade within the PS2 like era.
As we know, games start with 3 nowadays.
Yeah,
It's
just
kind of
like
funny.
Fallout.
It's kind of funny, but like, the third time's the charm or whatever, like as cliche as it sounds, maybe they got something right with that game. And I know for a fact that they weren't happy with how that game performed, but it's so weird because when I actually was playing the game, I think it was like in freshman year in high school or something like that, dude. And, I would talk to people about it and like nobody fucking knew about it. And it was kind of like, the people that had it, you didn't have access to these games, these Japanese games in regular fucking like video game stores. People that brought that stuff here, like, or ordered it from whatever supplier, they obviously knew what they were buying,
Yeah.
So it was like the series kind of spread in the early days by word of mouth and just like forums, and like it's so cool that you can still see threads on like discussions and stuff from even back in the day on like GameFAQs and shit. It's so sick. And I don't know, I feel like back then I feel like it was way more healthier in terms of like something like that people discovered for the first time, and then they fully like dived into like the other games, just because they enjoyed that first one that they tried, like with no stigma, like no preconception of like what it was, or by seeing a review or what somebody else had mentioned on a thread. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we're slowly getting back to that, but it's just, it depends what communities you're in, man. You know what I mean? Your whole view of it might be skewed.
It warms my heart to know that at least one person got into SMT because of Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne featuring Devil May Cry, featuring Dante from the Devil May
Dude,
Cry series.
I was obsessed with Dante, dude. I played every fucking game. Like I wanted to play anything that featured fucking Dante. Like, or
That's
any
fair.
game started Dante. Like, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, like when Dante was in that fucking game, that was a huge
dude.
thing, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Dante
Huge.
Dante did a lot for Capcom, I know there's a dude that did a
And by
translation
extension,
patch.
Atlus.
Yeah. I know there's a dude that did a translation for the Raito version that included. Yeah.
Oh, Maniacs, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. No, well, we got
Was it you
Maniacs.
that played that on stream, or was that someone else?
No, I
that
didn't.
that was me who played it. I played it.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, I kind of went on like a,
No, that's fine.
But I'm just saying these
Whenever
things
organized
because
here on the Heretic Mansion.
they're, these are genuine things that I experienced, and like now Megaten has become one of my favorite franchises in gaming, like, and it'll kind of ruin RPGs for you, because you'll look for things that don't quite hold up to the narration and like the storytelling and just the overall kind of like presentation and mechanics behind the combat. It's rewarding when you get over a hump that you was trying to get over for like 10 plus hours or something.
It's like not a lot of RPGs do that.
No, absolutely not.
You don't really get a lot of customization options either. Like in SMT, you get hundreds of demons to choose from that you're constantly fusing away for better demons. But in most JRPGs, it's just you go to the next town, upgrade your weapons, unlock a magic spell or two or something like that, and you just keep going. At least it's not so much like this anymore, but 10 years ago when SMT was new, that's what it was like.
I think I must have been like 16 or 15 years old, dude, when I first like played it and shit. And like at that point, like I felt like I found something that nobody else knew about, dude. And I was like, holy shit, like what the fuck is this? Like there has to be more out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why you start looking for people that like maybe other people played it, and then you found those people, and then you found the community, and you got more involved, and then you found through them like other games that they played, and you're like, yo, what was that game about? You know what I mean? Like maybe I should try that one out too. You know, and there's like I went back to SMT1 and SMT2 as well. You know, I gave those games a try. I fucking love SMT1, dude. Like,
Yeah, I love SMT1 as well.
That game is crazy with what that shit was pulling, bro, in terms of like
Try not to
story.
feel too bad.
Why?
No, the
Oh,
meme.
Law Hero.
It's the meme.
Oh yeah,
Try
okay,
not to
cool.
feel bad.
And
it's
it's
not
so
like your
and
mom
it
died or anything.
and it's so cool to see kind of like games like SMT2 kind of be the precursor, like the spiritual successor to like SMT2 and stuff in terms of like certain aspects of the story. And
I think
like,
I can neatly summarize
Yeah.
everything you've just said in the last half hour.
Yeah.
Shin Megami Tensei is a good video game series. You should all play it. Persona
Fuck yeah.
5 is a bad game.
Same.
I didn't. Damn, bro. Damn. Putting words in my mouth. But you know, I'm coming in as a fan. You know, like I appreciate you guys having me on and stuff like that. And I just feel like certain things need to be said. You know, and like there's toxic people in every community, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's just a loud minority. I just feel like certain people are afraid to voice their opinion because that loud minority is so extensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had so many people just get super emo about the SMT fan base because there are a few bad apples in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
But
just
I
ignore
think,
them. Just focus on the good stuff.
yeah, but I think it's your job, you know, as a podcast and like the people that you feature, kind of spread the word and like, hey, just we're not all assholes, dude.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, you know what I mean?
There are
Like-
5 people in this chat, and only one of us is an asshole.
And that's you.
No, it's me.
Nice. But
2
you
of
know,
us are assholes then.
like I feel like, you know, certain people also get defensive when, you know, they feel like certain things might hit the mainstream, you know.
Yeah.
Because
I think that's
we don't want to
pretty-
see loot boxes in SMT5.
How do you fuse Kukulin? Okay, you need to get Gay Bulg out of a loot box that has a 1 in 10,000 chance that costs $1 each
Jesus
to
Christ.
open. And then once you get Guy Bulg, you have to fuse a Setanta, which you also need something to get from a loot box. Okay,
Jesus.
this is the future for Shin Megami Tensei.
You should not put this into practice, dude, at all. Like, don't speak this into existence.
Don't give them
bro.
any ideas.
Yeah, please don't. Please don't.
I feel
I have
like that's a natural ending point. My
Yeah.
fantastic idea for what a Shin Megami Tensei 5 should be.
Dude, this guy needs to go, man. It's like,
There's a few places I need to go, and Atlus headquarters is one of them.
Damn, man.
Maybe you should be their new PR manager.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Dude, turn of a new age, huh? What the hell was that?
Also, sorry because we're pretty much at the end, and
Yeah.
I wanted to say something because you mentioned a lot about the community and how the community is.
And this is just me witnessing as an outsider. You know what I mean? And like
because-
here and there kind of like contributing and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's also something I want to say, and it has really to do with the community as a whole, because as I first started in this community, I started as an SMT fan, and then when I figured out about Persona and all this stuff, I had this stigmatic jealousy against it, like any other normal SMT fan would have, because they're like, Persona 4 is not like the rest of the series, therefore it should be, a crime, a threat, or whatever. And
Dude,
that's how I started up in the fan base as a whole.
Persona 4 is its own fucking franchise.
Yeah.
Well, it
You
has
know,
to
like
weak.
Jesus Christ. Jesus
That's a good way to
Christ.
look at it.
Yeah. And
You know?
and like I was like, over the course of years, and maybe communicating with my friends and everybody I've met online and certain people, and it's only occurred to me now that, hey, this hate towards Persona, whether it be for a jealousy reason, it's really unneeded and not really mature in a sense. Like we're pretty much liking a game that's under the Megaten umbrella of games. Whether it be you're a Persona 5 fan or Persona 4 fan, and you want to try out the rest of the games without being bombarded by SMT elitists that say, hey, you played those games, you're not gonna have fun with this or blah blah blah. Like, they should be able to. And I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
speaking in a bias of an SMT fan because I've came from it and I know how it feels. Like, I know from the receiving end, and you know of course contributing to that hate, that you're missing out on a lot of things. And with this, and with the Persona page that me and John are running right now, I am glad I became active on a Persona page, because you know why? Because with changing the whole stereotype of Persona posting or whatever on a page allowed me to meet new people, whether they be from a different subgenre of, like, games or whatever. Like, let's say Danganronpa. Let's say what's another franchise? Anything that's not
Fire
Dream
Persona.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zero
I've
Escape.
been able to meet new people like that just because of Persona 5. And the fact that I want to spread my knowledge of what I know about the Megaten series as a whole to people in the Persona fan base who are willing to give me a chance for me to teach them, is an honor,
Yeah,
honestly.
absolutely. I agree. Dude, like just in the last maybe like 2 years or so, like most of the people in terms of like Twitch and like the forums and stuff that I've met has been due to Persona, and overall, I think this is one of the only kind of like franchises that I've been, remotely kind of like, interested
Mhm.
in. The only one that has been so responsive and community based, whether it be positive or negative. Like it's the only one that I'm kind of like made friends that I've never met in real life, and we all have similar interests. And now we're we're exploring the franchise because we have similar interests. Like
Yeah.
people are now hitting me up that only have played Persona, asking me like, "Hey, uh, what do you think about SMT5? Should I pick up a Switch and eventually when it does come out, like play?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." Like one of my good friends, she stream. Her name is Kate.
Yeah.
She just picked up a Switch maybe 2 days ago, and she bought Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, and she can't wait to play SMT5. And she's currently trying to finish P5. And like that to me, like encompasses everything that you just finished saying. Like people are willing to try it as long as you're not a fucking asshole, dude. Like when they ask you, like, "Hey, like I just came from P5, guys. What game should I try out next?" Like I don't think you can't play like a specific Megaton game. It kind of has to be tailored to the person's kind of like likes and dislikes. So what are your experiences with RPGs? And then they'll say uh, X whatever, and then you'll be like, well, I played these games that would fit that criteria. Go try that one. There's so many different games that fit so many different types of people that I don't see people being dissatisfied. Like how it became a meme to kind of just hate on Apocalypse, even though it has its gripes and shit that
It's
it absolutely
it's not
failed
a
at it.
meme. It is not a meme.
But to me, it is when I
Yeah.
see
Yeah. I
to
see it
me it
as
is
well.
to me it is when I see people constantly like adding layers and layers of hate and hate and hate without them actually even fucking trying the game. Like a lot of the people on that SMT5 trailer that constantly are begging Nintendo to port Persona 5 on the Switch, and like, oh, like, where is the next Persona or whatever. All of that shit is just a fucking meme. It's just people, a whole sea of people that are just doing it just for the sake of doing it, because it's on the fucking forums like Megaton and like on Reddit and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yo, it's getting old. Like, it's been an amazing year overall for the entire series. Look at all the concerts that these guys have made. Look at all the merchandise that they're putting out at these fucking concerts. Look at it, like they did the jewelry shit too. Like, it's too expensive. It's not for me, but it'll fit somebody that's interested in that stuff. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that are going on outside of where you're from that is catering to so many different people, and because of that, the franchise will continue to grow. Like, and that's only gonna benefit us and whatever experiences they're working on, whether it be Megaton or a new franchise that they're fucking working on. Like, I'm actually more excited about Fantasy than actually SMT5, because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Fantasy either, and I have my high hopes up. Like, I really want to see what this new project's about, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like, that's so exciting because
Sorry, it's been fun, but I gotta go. See
We're
you
almost
everyone.
done anyway.
yeah, I'm sorry if you guys want to wrap up,
No, it's
but
fine.
yeah, but well, amazing talk. Like, you guys are awesome. But it's just I think it's time for a new age, and like, I think the things that you guys constantly decide to talk about every like 2 or 3 weeks that you guys do an episode, I wish more people would hear. You know what I mean? Like, it's awesome that you guys are starting to reach out to different aspects of the community and being involved and stuff, because maybe, dude, it's gonna take one of you guys to change people's minds. Like, it needs to be said, and people just need to take kind of like more action, like spread the good word about Megaton and stuff. Like, there's a game for everybody, and even if you don't enjoy it, like, at least you gave it a try, man. Like, not every game is perfect, like, it's kind of like a building block, you know what I mean? And then at the end you have like a wall or a road, like, I'm excited that P5 is a thing. I hope it fucking wins like game of the year, because it's just gonna benefit everybody in the community and Atlus overall. Like, imagine all the press that they will fucking get.
Yeah, they will get a lot from it.
That's just gonna put more light into the projects that they're working on. I think people have just become so demanding of like their little baby like games that they fucking absolutely love. You know what I mean? Like, I want Megaton to make me feel uncomfortable. Like, when I played Nocturne, dude, like, that is not a fucking happy game. Okay, you feel alone, you feel fucking lost, and that's what the developers like wanted you to feel. Same thing when I played Persona 3, dude. I was going through a rough time in my life, like, don't want to get too personal, but my grandmother had passed away while I was playing that game, and it was just something that fucking happened, and that was a thing that I put that negative energy into, and it was an experience. Like, it was a period of time in my life where I dealt with something a certain way because of a game, and I've never interacted with a form of media that can have that dialogue. Same thing with Persona 4 too. Like, I wish I would have played that game when I was younger, because I didn't enjoy it when I first played it. It was not Persona for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, but a lot of the people that got into it, that was their entry point, and that's fucking awesome. I don't know if you guys want to wrap up here, or if you want to add on to more.
Yeah, I guess
don't really
we
have anything
can.
else to say.
I guess
Yeah,
we can
no.
call it a wrap, but
Yeah.
and I want to say this to everybody who's listening right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, just in case if we don't have anything to talk about, I'd like to maybe prioritize the next few episodes, or maybe let's say episodes where we don't have anything to talk about, I want to have a discussion, at least a discussion on the community and what we can do. What we can do as, individuals to get more people into Megaten, whether it be through Persona or something else, right? And to kind of just rid this rift that we have in the fan base between the SMT elitists and the Persona, whatever you like to call them. I don't know.
It's so weird because it's like technically the same franchise, dude.
It's the same franchise too.
It's
like
the same
SMT
franchise.
is Persona and Persona is SMT. It's
Yeah.
just really ridiculous, and I think
I-
people need to get rid of that mentality of thinking and look at the facts here.
It's so crazy because if you play the older games, one couldn't exist without the other. Like
Yeah.
literally, certain universes wouldn't have happened, or certain games wouldn't have happened because of certain characters and certain events. So when it comes down to it, it's under the same universe, it's under the same umbrella. Well, for certain games, I don't want to get technical, but
Yeah.
indeed, it did happen because one and the other, and I feel like just everything that you guys have said tonight, like, yeah, maybe it takes people like you guys to kind of like just say fuck it, like let's get more involved, let's get talking to more people and just actually get them interested in the franchise. Like, I definitely see that happening now slowly, but it definitely like needs to be more vocal. And if you guys need anything, like, I'm open to, if I have the time, you know what I mean, I'm here. I'm pretty, I'm busy, but as long as we can kind of plan accordingly, then I'll make things happen. Do you mind telling me where that Persona page is at? Is it like Facebook or?
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Joker's Fan Thief Guild.
I can link you the page right now in
Sweet.
general.
I don't have a Facebook. I don't really do well with social media, but that's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure people here would follow it and stuff like that. And also, like, you guys have a Discord too, like, which is amazing. More people seem to be more active on like Discord servers instead of forums and stuff, because you get instant
Instant replies
feedback.
and stuff.
Yeah. So that's really good that you guys have started that. And hey, man, like, we have a new year coming, dude, and like, there's just so much other shit that can happen that can be announced. You know what I mean? Like, that can make it even better. I hope what we said today leaves a positive note, and just don't take what we've said and criticize as negative feedback, because we're just that passionate about the franchise because we've delved so deep into it, and we want to see people have those same experiences and stuff like that, because it's important. And they might not relate to the games the way that we did, but at least they tried, and at least give people benefit of the doubt. One thing also that I don't agree with in the community, it might just be on Reddit, but anytime that I see a post on hey, I just finished Persona 5, guys, do you recommend X and X game that I should pick up? And you'll see a sea of people kind of memeing the whole C-turn thing, or don't play this game, don't play that game because whatever, this doesn't have that. They start breaking everything down to a science of all the things that they don't like, and that's a huge turnoff to a person that just got introduced to the series through P5. And it's but that's just a few people,
that is a few people. And I'd like to think that when I go our Megaten, I go there at least once a month to see what the fuck happens there, and all I see is nothing really interesting. It's usually some guy who's trying to shill something, or it's probably some person memeing casually on the board, or pretty much reposting a dead meme. And it gets really stale after a while, which is why I never really associate on the boards much.
I posted once there. It was after my trip from Japan. I picked up a couple figures, Megaton stuff,
Mhm.
And I got good feedback. Like a lot of people were like, holy shit, like you found this where and stuff. And like we shared information. They were like, yo, dude, like I'm going next year, like I'm gonna give it a try and just hunt for these things. And that was awesome. Like I found the Demi Fiend figure, the one that you got from that prize thing. I got Lucifer. I bought the there was a figure that came with Alice and also Jack Frost and the Rido figure.
Mhm.
And dude, like I went to it. The name of the store was Mandarake.
Yeah,
It was
Mandarake. Yeah.
yeah, it was in Akihabara, and like they have several different floors, and like I saw Persona stuff, and like I asked one of the clerks, like I was like Shin Megami Tensei, and like he didn't understand what I said, but I don't think he understood. He was just like surprised that kind of like an outsider was like, wait, how the fuck do you know about this?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and like I was like Megaton, and then he was like, oh, and then he went to the back and he got all this stuff that was just out there like collecting dust, dude. And I picked them up for relatively. It wasn't expensive, but it wasn't cheap either.
Mhm.
But you kind of saw like kind of like the joy that like in his face, like wow, like this guy really just like knows about this shit,
Mhm.
and he's not from here. So if I wouldn't have asked if they had stuff, he probably, I probably would have just picked up Persona shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But the fact that I went the extra mile, like,
So,
would
like,
just made the whole experience just much satisfactory, you know? And
Yeah.
like, I had no idea how rare that Demi Fiend figure was. Like, people were like, holy shit, that's like a $300 figure. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It is.
you usually get like waifu figures and shit like for that much and stuff, which I don't collect at all, but that was really cool. Yeah, do you guys own any Megaton figures or any like memorabilia and
I
stuff?
wish,
No, I
I
don't.
wish, but like I hope one day I will at least get my hands on one of the Mega 10 figures.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
really hope I find Sate. All right, as always, guys, thank you for listening, and we will see you when we upload next.
sweet.
All right.
Bye.
See you later.